Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Screen Time Continuum. I am Nick, and I'm joined, as always, with the gentleman, Keelan. How you doing?
Can't complain, brother. What's going on? Feeling good on this. Oh, it's not even hump day. This
No.
day after the hump day. On this downhill Thursday, moving into a plateaued Friday. How about that?
All right. And a silly Saturday.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah. And we got Mike here. What's going on, Mike?
Man, what it do, fellas? What it do? What it do?
It does indeed, and I hope that it's doing for you as well out there. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. We really appreciate it. Tonight, we're going to be talking about a new movie on Hulu called Jagged Mind. This one came out not too long ago. I think it came out in April or May, so we're not too far behind on this one. But it's directed by Kelly Colley. It's written by Allison Morgan, and it stars Maisie Richardson Sellers, Shannon Woodward, and Rosalind Elbay. With a couple other notable people, I want to give a shout out to Jimmy Jean-Louis, who played the Haitian in Heroes. He is also in this movie. Just kind of a nice little Easter egg. So we're going to jump into this flick. I'm going to give you guys the synopsis. It is on Hulu, and actually, I'm corrected. It came out on June 15th, so we're much more current on this one. So I guess that means I have to give a spoiler warning. So here is your fair spoiler warning. If you've not seen this movie, Jagged Mind, we are going to talk about it and spoil it. So turn back now, or just stay tuned and listen to what we have to say about it, because I think we might be able to sum it up for you without, we can save you an hour and a half. So the synopsis for this movie is Billy is plagued by blackouts and strange visions that lead to her lead her to discover she's stuck in a series of time loops, possibly related to her mysterious new girlfriend. So this is a time loop movie, guys. I hope that you're buckled up and ready for disorientation and not knowing what's going on until the last minute, because that's what you're in for. Yeah. But let's jump into first impressions and see what the gentleman thought about it. Keelan, what's your first impression?
My first impressions of the Jagged Mind movie. First, the name Jagged Mind as a movie just made me continuously think in my head, how does this relate to Jagged Little Pill? Alanis Morissette, for those who have no reference on that.
Or Jagged Little Thrill.
Oh,
I was thinking, meet me at the altar in your white dress.
Jagged Edge word. Hey, you know what?
There's a lot of jagged edges here.
A lot of jagged, yeah. Let's rock with that. I did a quick view on the director. I know she has a BA from Howard, I believe.
I don't care. I mean,
hey,
cool,
it's not your turn.
It's his first impression.
But yeah, no, she has a Howard University BA. Also went to USC, and is from like the San Fernando Valley, Northridge area. So I thought that was actually pretty interesting. I don't know. I don't know if that's a normal thing when you find out that someone who created something is from an area you're familiar with, where you're like a little more interested. I remember finding out that Seth Rogen and all the super bad guys were from the same area that she's from. And I was like, hey, wait, I know where that's at. And kind of was interested in their first few movies when they first came out, just based on that. So that little tidbit alone makes me kind of, all right. Let me. Which
is that considered
which
the Apatow group?
I believe so. Actually, yeah.
It's an offshoot of it.
Like a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not directly, but yeah, definitely a part of it. Like the cousins of it, I guess you would say, something like that.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. But that actually kind of plays into what I'm thinking within my first take of this all. It made me think, for Kelly Callie, what else does she have under her belt, and is it in the same vein as this, or has some of the same characters, or is there any relation between her other work? Now, that's just me as far as the creator. To the movie itself, or the director, actually, I can't even say the creator, to the director, but to the movie itself. I didn't dislike this movie. I was interested at the beginning what was going on, and then I was absolutely confused. And then I was interested again. So yeah, I don't there are some things I dislike, but nothing I think needs to be mentioned at the top of this. For the most part, I can't say I wouldn't watch it twice so I can get a little more context on whether I like it or not so far. But I guess I'll get to that by the time we're done. A lot of notes. Like just it's a psycho thriller, so there's a lot of notes. There's not really much to lend beyond that, in my opinion. But hey, you know what? There's two other people to give their first impressions, so I'm sure I'm wrong.
Mike, you haven't finished this movie. You're currently watching it now. What do you think?
Yeah. All I can think about is how woke this movie is. And I don't know, maybe because I'm watching too much stuff on the internet and everything that's so controversial. And I got nothing against, girl stuff, because that's, everybody's favorite. However, it's shoved too much in your face too much lately. And I'm getting old, and I don't know if that's the reason, but I just don't even like seeing sex in movies and TV anymore. I don't know. Just because that's what it seems like the main focus of this movie is early on. And like you said, I haven't watched the whole thing. I still got it playing. I'm like maybe 30 minutes, almost 40 minutes in. And it's like, I'm looking at the characters, and the one chick, the main character, Billy, she's gorgeous. But I don't care. I don't care about her blackouts. I don't care for her girlfriend. I already know she's a manipulating weirdo. I don't really care for her ex-girlfriend, who's the art chick, or current girl. I don't know what she is, because the loop thing. I don't care for her friend who's got the kids, because I think she's probably a part of the problem. I don't know what's going on yet.
Everybody's terrible in this movie.
So you're watching a time loop movie. You don't know until the last 5 minutes. Yeah.
Right.
And I'm honestly, Mike, you had more to say about it, and you're still going through it than I did. I guess because I got the full circle. For me, I'm just like, I don't even know what to say, to not say. It's a psycho thriller. Like Nick said, it's a time loop movie where.
And another thing, if you're gonna have interracial relationships between two women, can you at least get two attractive women? I mean, Billy is gorgeous. The other chick,
think Elise Hughes is attractive? I don't think that's her real name. I think that was her name in the show.
I don't even know what her name is in the movie. She's just like,
Fair.
Well, they don't exist to be easy on the eyes for you, Mike.
Yeah, I'm sitting here like, fair. That's a decent opinion.
Maybe
a little bit sarcastic.
Maybe, but I see chicks that look better at Starbucks.
Yeah, well, some people are just famous, because they have novel faces. It's not so much about beauty most of the time. It's about, is your face novel? And
she looks like a bootleg Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, but that's a face shape that Hollywood likes. You just said Maggie Gyllenhaal. They like that type of face. I think it's called a moon face.
Do better.
Okay. Well,
that would have made this movie better, I guess.
Aside from that,
wait, does that make me a sexist?
Should we get off your lawn too?
Yeah. Get off my lawn, you whippersnappers!
I think that's so funny, just because you're saying that, Mike, and I'm sitting here like, I don't know if he's wrong, but I'm not sure if that would have made the movie.
I'm just saying. I'm cantankerous.
Yes, we know that. That's all right. Okay, well, I don't know. I'm probably in the middle between Mike and Keelan at this moment. I just thought it was kind of lukewarm. I didn't think it was anything there was a little bit of originality. There were some stylistic choices that I thought were interesting, and then others that I thought were kind of played out. The time loop thing, I think we officially need to stop doing that. I think this movie might be the end. I think after this movie, we have to say no more time loops, because it just, I don't know, let it rest for maybe like 5 years, and then we can revisit it. But there's way too.
You mean like zombies?
Yeah, zombies need to take a rest too. Yeah, for sure.
I love zombies, but
Yeah.
man, so many bad movies.
Yeah, there are a lot.
Warm Bodies. Sorry.
And this movie isn't terrible, but it's also not good. I just don't think that there's a whole lot that is in it. It's not as intriguing. My goodness, is it World War II? What's going on? And Keelan, your microphone's on mute. Yeah.
I said nothing of importance except I was really asking, was that a propeller plane?
Yeah, sounded like
Nah,
it.
that was a Apache attack chopper going
Uh.
overhead to go bomb the hood.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. You live in Escape from LA over there, huh?
That's right.
Anyways, so I didn't think that this movie was all that great. I think that there were some stylistic choices I don't like. The time loop being one, but also there's a red hue on every evening scene that kind of drives me nuts, and I'm supposing that that's supposed to like make us feel menaced or make us feel intimidated. I just didn't really like it all that much. I thought it was hard to see. Keelan, you're still on mute too, by the way. Yeah. Okay.
Frumpy.
That's
Frumpy.
I wanted to actually
Alright.
let you finish your first take. I felt like I was
I appreciate it. Thanks.
continuously cutting you off.
No, you're good. You're good. But yeah, that's all I got to say about this. I don't know. Where do we want to handle this, Keelan? How do you want to take this?
Keelan has notes. We'll go with
I
the
know.
notes.
That's why.
Yeah, I'm like, this is
He's
one of
sort
those
of
movies.
the Sherpa in our show.
Much appreciated.
Yes.
Let's start with
23?
a few things. So let's state
Sorry.
where we are and kind of ballpark the characters. After that, we can kind of go through it. Again, this is a time loop movie, guys. So if we went bit by bit, we're really gonna, oh well, this is what happened the first time they did it, this is what happened the second time they did it, and then this time let's probably not play that game so much. Essentially, this movie takes place in Little Haiti, Florida, right outside of Miami or in Miami. It's very artsy, it's very ritzy, it's very classless. I'll pit the classes
Oh.
against one another. Um,
I didn't know where they were. I didn't realize it was Miami. That
oh
makes
yeah,
sense,
yeah.
though.
I want to say she said Little Haiti at the beginning, but
She
as soon as I
did.
saw like the Haitian flags and kind of saw the background, I'm like, okay, that has to be Little Haiti, Florida. And then I think she said Little Haiti at some time. I knew
She
at no
did.
point we actually in Haiti.
Right. I didn't know where they were. At first, I thought they might have been on the island because I know she did say Little Haiti, but I didn't think of Florida as being in where Little Haiti would be.
Yeah, right outside Miami.
See, I don't know nothing about Florida.
Miami. I've never been. I've only heard because of
Right.
Anyway,
No, that makes sense.
Before we get into the details of what's what, because I think that would give away the depth of the movie immediately, and the depth of this film. Let's start now with the characters. We know where we're at. Once you kind of know where you're at, and we get into the chop by chop of the details, it's like, oh, I see what they did there.
Okay.
We start with the young lady. Her name is Billy. We didn't get her name initially, but I went and found all the names. I'm that person. I have to know the names up top, right?
That's the only one I do know name.
It's the only person worth knowing. So we meet Billy, and Billy is with Christine, and they're like, immediately we jump into the movie, and it's girl on girl sex scene. And I think this is where I understand where Mike's
almost
coming
literally immediately, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
literally. I think that is literally the first scene. I don't even think.
Yeah, it's a sex scene. They're not even. There's no talking. It just immediately jumps into.
No, I think the first line is "Put your mouth on me."
Put your mouth on me is the first words. Yep, I actually wrote that down.
Yeah.
That is literally the first thing said. It's like the first
Yikes.
full line said in this movie.
Yeah.
There were probably something anyway. Well, so they come into them having sex, and during their sex or during the sleep post coitus, is that the appropriate thing to say at this point?
It
Yes.
is, yeah.
It's a good word.
It's one of the best words. Billy dreams of blood and herself being stabbed in her death, as she believes, and that's very peculiar. But either way, she wakes up the next morning and she's by herself because Christine's left. She goes on a jog and she sees a old, looks like a blind man. And he is seemingly playing uh, well, what I didn't write it, a talisman of some sort, and that's when we first see her black out. When she blacks out, she wakes up at a bar, and she hangs out and talks to this random white lady who also addresses herself as this random white lady at the bar. I immediately knew something wasn't right. And I honestly thought we were dealing with deities, which I thought this was going to go a little crazier into that side. And I was thinking she could have been like a spirit of some sort that was haunting her.
Mm.
Hmm.
You know, I thought this could have got real mystical and elemental, but it didn't. They gave you a little bit of that. I think they gave us enough of that by the end of this movie, but we'll get into that.
Well, yeah, the mechanism. I mean, the movie does a pretty good job about remaining grounded until it reveals the mechanism of the loop. So,
Yeah, I thought that was, and I thought it was cleverly done because there were a lot of thoughts I had, like sitting around trying to figure this movie out as I'm watching it. That was not it. I can't say that where they went, I was absolutely thinking that, even after seeing the guy with the talisman and whatnot. However, uh, Christine ends up texting her. She gets her first text message at 8:15. So remember, we're in a time loop. Alex tells her it's unlucky to leave without opening a bottle. She gets her first two text messages while they're at the bar on all the loops at 8:15, and the next time she doesn't look at her screen until 8:41 because no text message comes through. I thought that in itself was something worth keeping note of, simply because if you don't get a text message, there's no reason to look at your phone. So the fact that they looked at the phone meant they wanted us to see that timestamp and know that something had been passed, something had been missed, something was different. And we find out at that point that Christine is MIA. And also, that's something else for me. Even within all the loops and the playbacks and the moments, this movie moves really fast. Like, you can, in my opinion, you can miss one of the loops or one of the setbacks by simply, looking down for too long or thinking too hard about something you just saw.
well, they play the first loop twice, so
Yeah.
that gives you an opportunity to not pay attention to at least one of them. And then, then the sequence of loops that happen are just kind of enough for you to be like, oh, there she goes again. She's obviously got a brain tumor or something because she keeps losing time.
Right. And
Could
they
you
even
keep your
make
co-host quiet over there, Mike? Jeez.
and they even make an effort to
That's
kind of
actually the
speed them up.
neighbor.
Oh,
Dang. They even make an effort to speed up the loops, I notice, as to not really drag it out too much, which I appreciated that. I want to say that I actually kind of appreciated that, because too often they'll want you to get the point of how often this is being done, and you have to watch it like beat by beat of every single loop every time, and it's like, all right, at some point you guys have to let us breathe. Like, let us we understand what's happening, and we already saw that situation. Also, in the first loop at the bar, each time something small would change, whether it was the discussion or certain responses, or if it was as simple as by the third time the the time change.
mm-hmm.
I also note that it was the second time, not the third time, that Billy meets Rose. And Rose is the person who is the artist of the art gallery they go to, or the art show they go to. She has a particular portrait called Regret, and Regret is basically to make or help Billy remember. We don't know what she's remembering yet, but Rose seems very nervous for her, and Rose seems like she really cares about her a lot, and she's really nervous when she leaves. However, we get back to the bar, and the next thing we know, Billy takes Alex to the show, and Christine's not there. So at this point, guys, I'm not sure. Like, we kept seeing all of that, and this is right before Alex and Billy decide they're gonna go home together, which is seemingly the first night they've met, at least in Billy's mind. So it's like that's some horror shit. I mean, I don't know
Yeah.
how else to look at this. Like, this is supposed to be the first night she meets this lady. She's very timid to kind of be around her, but then you have wine with her. You finish a whole bottle of wine. We keep seeing this relapse, like, and it's almost like she was being loosened up, right? And
Yeah,
then,
there's a lot of alcohol use. I kept thinking she was
yeah,
getting roofied or something.
I was thinking, I thought that
I
for a
thought
minute.
about that too.
I thought that for a minute too. Like maybe she's losing time because she's being doped. Which again, it's like, is that the message being sent? Like, what are we supposed to be thinking right now?
I guess it's an like an allegory for alcoholism too, right? The lost time you get while drinking.
Yeah, I think it's an allegory for being drunk on love and being drunk on just freaking nonsense, making excuses for other people because you want to keep them close or because you have some connection to them. I think it's more of an allegory for things of that nature. But hey, if we want to talk about drunken states of stupor, I mean that kind of can play into maybe that's what her vice was, the liquor. And that's what, as we saw Alex say continuously, you have no idea what I've done for you, or to keep you. Maybe her alcohol consumption, maybe you are on something with that, and her alcohol consumption is one of those things that Alex has to put up with.
Yeah, I just think it's, like it's very obvious the amount of alcohol both of the characters imbibe. It feels like it's purposeful instead of incidental. But
I get you.
yeah, it could just be a kind of a loose sort of metaphor of alcoholism and how you lose time and sort of don't remember things. And yeah. Because at this point, we still don't really understand what is going on with Billy. So, they say that her mother had a degenerative disease. She had dementia. So she's worried that she's going to get dementia and that it's going to be like this rapid onset thing. Although I don't think dementia works like that, but maybe it does. I'm not sure.
I actually don't know.
As far as I know, it doesn't work quite like that. I mean, it's they forget stuff, but they don't. I've not known of blackout spells and then time loops amongst those blackout spells.
Well, hopefully not time loops. Good God, that would be awful.
But in a sense, they do
that.
because sometimes when you have dementia, you do kind of regress into earlier periods of your life mentally.
Fair enough. Yeah.
So it's maybe that is, kind of a part of it.
Maybe.
In a more abstract sense.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
I think it's definitely a possibility that all of this stuff was probably thought about when this story was being told. I think like all of this stuff that's sort of like overt is so surface level that maybe, like maybe it's trying to disguise a couple other things as well.
I get you. Yeah. I mean, there are some intricate sides. So I get what you. There can be a lot of things that we're missing.
Yeah, because it's overtly, it's overtly, like very sexual and just very, I wouldn't say thrillerish because it's to me, I didn't find it psychologically thrilling. But I think that that's what they were going for. So, I think that, like, I think that those are the overt themes, and then you get like a little bit more of the subtle themes, which would be the dementia and the alcoholism parallels.
Right. This movie actually, I can't remember exactly what you just said that made me think of it, but it reminds me of those movies back in the day, like the movie Mikey of the orphan kid who, takes out his adoptive parents, or Children of the Corn, even kind of like Chucky. And what I mean by that is it's very like, hey, you don't know what's going on, but I'm doing it right in front of you. I have to admit, I've always been in love with those kind of movies because they're not really trying to sell you. They're just trying to entertain you.
Yeah, and I think there's a balancing act with movies like this where you're not really supposed to know anything until the sort of end. You have to give the audience something and not keep it from them for too long. And I think that the movie did a pretty decent job at that. It's not very long, so you don't have to wait too long. I think they did a pretty decent job at like um, not purposely letting the characters be ignorant because you don't want the audience to know what's happening yet.
Right.
Because
Right.
I think we've watched movies where they've done this, where there's like the characters have to be purposely ignorant so that you don't catch on to what's happening.
Right.
Yeah.
Actually, I never thought about that, but no, I like that because to fast forward, they finally sleep together. They have breakfast together. They're in a real relationship, whether they realize it or not. They didn't make it official yet, but they're in a relationship. And Billy has these visions again of her being choked and slammed against a wall, and she ends up having a concussion, waking up with a concussion. Something I thought was really crazy about that, to pause there before we get to Jake's party. So the doctor is never gonna ask or be curious on whether or not she getting her ass whooped. Just curious. The doctor literally just, oh, I'm gonna check on you, and oh, we're gonna get an MRI. And it's like, all right, doc, how many concussions can somebody really get, and you keep thinking it's dementia?
Oh shit! Is that a plot hole?
It might be.
I mean,
Yeah.
she got cuts on her too.
Yeah,
What and
she has
how?
small lacerations everywhere. She keep popping up with concussions, mental lapse, bruises. Come on, doc.
And because they've been together, we know 6 months, but then we find out other
Probably
things.
longer than that.
Right. So how many times has she gone to see that doctor within the 6 months where she's having these?
Dr. Ortiz, come on, bro. Like what is going on? That part really, at first I
Mm,
really expected the doctor at some point to be more of a part of the movie, and or maybe it's not a plot hole and it's to point out that wow, maybe this is the thing. Maybe in same-sex relationships the doctor doesn't automatically assume that it's domestic.
Dun dun dun.
maybe. Maybe that's possible. Also, I guess it's also that they're looking for a medical explanation when we know it's not a medical explanation, right?
Right.
So
Right.
they think it's a dementia thing, and the doctor's like, well, we don't see anything, but you're acting like something's happening, so we're just going to
Mhm.
say it's happening, and that our tests are inconclusive. But we find out that it's not actually
Definitely not happening.
not the medical explanation.
Yeah, none of the things going on in that medical facility. We're gonna find out what was going on. So Dr. Ortiz was at a loss
Okay.
either way. Fair enough.
Hmm.
Um, so she wakes up with a concussion, and sometime after that, they become an official couple. As they become an official couple, Alex blows up, explodes at the waiter, and we see almost in real time. It's like she's blowing up, and then all of a sudden they're back at the beginning of the moment, and it's like, wait, did they just reset? This bitch's a demon.
Something spooky's happening.
Something spooky is going. Like I was really like, what
Yeah.
the hell? But immediately we then also see Alex take a blood sample from Billy, and was that was more spooky than anything to me. Like, what the hell is going on?
Hmm.
Um,
I think they also did a pretty good job with how Alex's mannerisms during their interactions, and then the sort of break of character that she does sometimes when she is acting cruelly,
mhm,
and Billy sort of snapping back to it. I think that was done pretty well too, because that can get really difficult to sort of navigate. I think they did a pretty decent job with that, because there was a moment where I thought to myself, "Oh, maybe she is just like hallucinating all of this
mhm.
stuff." But again, you find out a little bit more.
Yeah, yeah, much more. But yeah, blood samples. Oh, I noticed that she kept blacking out and seeing the guy after she would have be on the phone with Kim. So she would talk to Kim on the phone, go for a jog, run into the old man, blackout. Literally, those four things happen in a row on two separate occasions. But
Mhm.
of course, as I look back through this movie, a few things repeated themselves. And it was for the sake of the movie. in the time loop situation. I think it was to throw us off and make us think we were seeing the same thing over and over. Which we kind of were. But after that first explosion, now they're over at Jake's party, little Jakey. And we literally we saw it in the moment. And then I think I was trying to figure out how Billy didn't see that Alex literally pushed this kid or tripped this kid as he was running up.
I don't think you see it the first time.
You
The
don't
first
see
time
it
it
the
looks
first
like she
time.
tripped her. I don't know. The first time to me, it almost looked like she tripped him.
That's
Or it
kind of
looked
how they
no,
play
no.
it.
Yeah, I might
Yeah.
say no. You know what it looked like? The first time it looked like by the way she moves out the way, like something wasn't right about that, and he fell.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Mhm.
And I'm thinking what we don't know is, and it never came through in the movie, is in the part where we see he puts the chocolate on her, so she does end up pushing him down. I think that she and Kim got into an altercation. I think that's what really happened, but we never see that on video or on screen.
Yeah. Kim is kind of
A bad friend, yes.
well, yeah, not a very good friend, but also, yeah, it's the problem is that with too many characters outside of this loop, you have to wonder how anybody didn't say anything.
Because they were not privy to the powers at hand.
Yeah, I guess, but like
So you mean the waiter's not in on it?
No,
the waiter's
Then
not.
why does he repeat it every time?
because it's a time loop.
It's an actual time loop.
Yep.
Oh yeah, he's not at the reason yet. Yeah.
Oh shoot! Right? Yeah, you're not there yet. Yep. Sorry, buddy. Too late. Too late. Yes.
I just kind of figured that maybe she was just tricking her and convincing her that it was happening over and over again.
Nah. Yeah.
No,
It's a real time
it's
loop.
really happening it over and over, and that's kind of, I guess that's the problem, right? Because this enters the element of the fantastical, and then you're like, well, all right, but there were other people involved.
Right. To be fair, I just don't kind of like it.
You don't kind of like it? It means you like it a little.
Yeah.
No, I mean I'm trying to be nice because it's not over.
If I'm being honest, Mike, when you
It's
get
not my
to
kind of
about-
movie.
When you get to about 27 minutes left, it'll get slightly more interesting for you specifically.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the end has a better payoff, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Corey's trying to spoil it.
Corey! Hey, Corey, that is called spoiler alerts. We are trying to drag that out.
Yeah, Mike's
Okay.
watching along right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, what's up, Corey? We see you in the comments, but that
Appreciate you, man.
particular comment cannot go up on the screen as of yet because we are dragging that out intentionally. But you are correct. That is what's going on. Have you seen this movie, Corey? Or
You probably did some sleuthing about it.
Yeah, I say, did you find the cliff notes?
That was kind of my other thought too, because then I thought
with
maybe
little
it is.
Haiti.
Right.
Mhm.
So I mean, the fact that little Haiti, little Haiti.
But you have to believe in it for it to work, right?
And there's a blind Haitian that's reciting something in Creole.
Creole, the entire movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Corey said he's also doing research.
Mhm.
So where are we? Jake's birthday. Kim and Billy get into their little spittle spattle, which was kind of just weird because it's like, Kim, you really gonna believe this lady that you hardly even know and clearly don't like from the gate because you can see her energy isn't correct? You're gonna take her word over having a discussion with your best friend?
Yeah. Well, and that I guess that is the first time that she meets Kim.
Very first time.
Okay.
So if I'm just meeting you for the first time, and these are the things that I'm sharing with you about my spouse who happens to be your best friend for, I don't know, 15, 20 years since before you had kids, I'm pretty sure you know them better than me.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh, hey, by the way, your best friend is really uncomfortable with hanging out with you and doesn't want to hang out with you anymore.
You know what I mean? Like, hey, like, nah, that it was weird.
What are
Just
you
certain
doing?
things had me like, that's
Right. I was sitting there like, why would you believe that?
Mm.
Why would you go along? Why would you?
Oh, okay,
That's like,
person I've never met before.
right,
I couldn't
right.
imagine some chick I just met telling me I shouldn't trust Nick and Keelan. Like, oh, they don't really want to hang out with you. They're not really your friends. What? What if you don't get your tag
Where'd you
head?
come from, miracle angel woman, with all this
Right.
knowledge?
Right. What?
Like,
Because
you
they
just
would
know,
tell
like,
me.
yeah. In fact, actually, like, look, you're a
Mhm.
player.
Right. Oh man.
Yeah, it'd be like, Mike, your girl said you don't want to hang out with us anymore. What's going on?
First of all, what y'all doing talking to her behind my back? Second of all, what?
She was the one that came up to us and told us this lie. What's going on?
Just lie. You
Well, then
explain it to us.
that mean I need to be single. That's
Fair
what
enough.
all that mean.
Mm.
That's what all that. But yeah, that's what happens at the birthday party, and only for them to turn. And this is where I'm just like, all right, something. You got to make this make sense to me. You go from that to then she tells you this about your best friend. Now you guys are having drinks at the bowling alley you grew up at. Like,
Caked in red lighting. Everything is caked in red lighting. It was driving me crazy.
oh
It's
yeah,
like,
that
what
made
are we doing? Developing film? It's
yeah.
just
I'm like,
drives
that
me
Well,
was
red
nuts.
lighting is the lighting of passion and voodoo.
I
yeah. I
know.
say that's for the
But
dark, ominous forces that are at play here.
it's
Mm-hmm.
well.
Well, and don't forget,
They
very
ripped off Game of
yeah,
Thrones kind of.
by taking the shades and the coloring.
No. I'm just thinking about the accessory to the time loop.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
funny.
Don't we'll get copywritten. Stop. Warner Brothers will take this. We don't make any money, but they will claim this.
Right. I
I
think they
think
got their own problems right now.
No, they've always got time to copyright
I'm
strike
just sitting here
something.
thinking like I don't even know how to comment on that because I think it's so funny that it's not a person. It's an automated service that definitely will be
Mhm.
like click 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 click. You
Mhm.
no
Joke's on
more
them.
click
We don't
for
make
you.
any money. So
Right. You can
you
have
can
these
have the
bills.
episode. Yeah.
Yeah, but
You can have all my bills.
yeah, for all my bills, they can do that for all of us.
I'm
So
going
they take
bankrupt.
pictures, and the flash bulb blacks makes Billy black out like she's. I'm gonna hold that last comment. It just makes her black out. The flashing bulbs trigger
Because
her.
it's time for another
Um,
blackout. She's got to,
yeah,
it's a movie about her blackouts. So.
triggers her time loop. She contacts the TVA and goes to another
Right.
timeline.
Right. Yes.
But then she's back in the hospital, and why is she back in the hospital again? Who knows? But this is where she and Billy, excuse me, this is where Billy and Kim have a blow up, and they are now no longer friends for the rest of this movie because we never see Kim again.
Till the
Really?
end. Oh,
I mean,
no,
yeah,
no.
at the very end, did we? No, we didn't see her at the end.
No, you're
We never
right.
see Kim again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and we know what happens when you don't see people anymore. They
It's
didn't just
dead.
disappear. They did. Now we haven't told you guys why they're dead yet, but we'll get to that in a moment.
Mhm.
So she's back in the hospital, but this is when at this point she finds a photo in her purse of the Rose Porter regret picture or photo or portrait, and it tells her to remember on the back. That kind of seems to infuriate Alex, and Alex gets up and storms out and says she has to go to work. Now, this is one of my favorite parts in the movie. Come on, Tommy. You ain't got no job, man. Anybody see Alex go to work or talk about work at any point in this movie?
No. Not once. Not until she
Nah,
needed to go murder somebody.
not until she needed to go murder somebody.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there like when she said, "Oh, I got to go to work." She was Tommy, all Martin reference for those who miss. But yeah, Tommy Payne.
Did she
Anyway,
even say what she did for a living?
she
No.
ain't got no job,
That's
man.
true. She clearly has
She
a
is a
rich family.
woketivist. And she makes money off of being a woketivist.
Oh no, I'm keeping all those comments to myself because what you just that is that is a cacophony of snakes and
Happiness.
worms and
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah, I gotta move on. I can't even play in that park right now. So she goes to work all of the sudden. And then Kim and Billy fight. This is when they're originally officially no friends. We forgot.
Oh
Alex had
right,
to leave first. Yeah, Alex
right,
had to
right.
leave before they weren't
Mm.
friends. Which again made me feel like Alex was like some kind of a supernatural being. Like, nah, she at work here again.
You know what? She kind of gave me the vibes of the
Lou Schiffer.
dude in Run Sweetheart Run. Pilo.
Don't besmirch that good movie's name with this.
I
Oh,
no. I'm saying
God,
that she gave off the vibes of that guy's character a little bit because
yeah,
she's
a
in
little.
on the whole thing and she kind of
Oh,
like knows everything that's
Oh
going
wow,
on.
what if they watched that movie and was like, we can do better? I mean, they succeeded. They succeeded. But
I
what
don't know.
if
I like Run Sweetheart Run
I'm
in
not saying I dislike
retrospect.
Run Sweetheart Run. I just think this
Yeah.
might actually be a little better because of I think the ending actually is better. That
Mm.
you know what?
Oh yeah, the ending sucked for
Wow.
that movie.
Yeah, that is because the ending on Run Sweetheart Run was like, word, that's what we doing.
Just put a little sunlight on you and you're dead.
Right. The ending on this, I kind of was like, yep, saw that coming, but still a decent ending, you know? So where are we? Oh, they had a fight. And after they have a fight, Billy goes home and Alex shows up. They have a fight. Big blow up fight where Alex ends up throwing a plate at her.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy because she was trying to kill her.
She
You know?
was. She really threw that plate.
Oh yeah, but that's because
Smashed on the wall and everything.
yeah, we find out a little later why though, because of yeah,
She used to be
she
a
had no
pitcher.
fear in
I
that.
don't know.
No, yeah, she
Yeah.
she just had no fear in doing harm to
Mm, that's right.
Billy
That's
because
right.
she knew that Billy would know nothing of it later. She could fix her, makes her better. Either way, after they fight, excuse me, after the original fight with Kim, Billy is feeling some way and she goes and she emails Christine where she gets an auto reply from Christine and Christine lets it, it's saying that Christine's in Bali and she's went there to um spend more time and focus on her artist so she won't be tending to her emails any longer. And I'm like, dang, she gone. Like she was either in a basement, a dungeon somewhere, or just gone in general. She was just gone in general.
She went
Cause
to Bali.
don't nobody just get up and leave Miami for Bali.
I mean, maybe some people do.
Maybe some people do. I don't know. I don't know why
If
anybody
you're
goes.
about that art life, man, you just go out wherever because people pay for you to go places, I guess.
Okay, fair enough. I was
I
gonna be like,
mean,
is
I
there art like that
guess
in Bali? Like, is that what's
sometimes,
going on?
probably. Maybe.
Maybe. I guess so. I don't know. I'm not in that lifestyle. I don't know. So Billy calls Alex, and Alex gets pushy again about wanting to get back together. But we see Alex has a syringe and a bunch of photos of the Rose Porter picture. At this point, Billy goes ahead and Google's Rose Porter's name, sees a picture of Alex, Googles their names together, and sees pictures of them together. Immediately, she figures this out. She knows what's going on, and immediately we know where Alex is when she picks up this call based on this Google search, right?
And the
Um,
leather gloves she was wearing to commit the act. That's when you know somebody's bad is when they got
yeah, the
black
leather
leather
glove.
gloves on.
Yeah, I mean, if it don't fit, you must have quit. So I guess you're right.
Hey,
I just thought of Step Brothers. Black leather gloves.
That's what you went with, huh? I
Right.
wish that's where my brain went when he said black leather gloves. That's how my brain went because of the context of this movie,
Yeah, kind of tuned it out.
though. So, either way, we realize at this point that Alex is a killer, and she's
Oh
been doing
yeah.
all kind of things. But after Billy finds out who Rose is to Alex and all of that, she goes to Alex's house. Excuse me, she goes to Rose's house. At this point, she finds Rose's body. Rose is in the shower, gone. Looks like she slit her wrist, but nobody knows that because she hasn't been discovered yet. The only person to see her is Billy, and she also sees that a little box or a barrel or whatever you want to call it, and it has the talisman patch on it. Um, and inside of it, it has a bunch of information that helps Billy find out what's really going on with her and discover that Alex is a bad person and she's been using blood magic.
Bad person.
Bad person. And she's been using blood magic the whole time. No, this is not voodoo. This is not Haitian voodoo. It's not something that Papa Juice, the guy with the talisman box and all
Papa
of that.
Juice.
Papa Juice.
Yeah.
He can't do anything to really help her, but he's been trying to protect her. And this is the guy that we've been seeing speaking in Creole with I don't know if those are cataracts or he could just see ghosts, but the
I
white
think
eyes.
both. I think that means both in movies. That you're psychic and you're blind. But yeah, he was just trying to make her a box, man.
Trying to help her out. Give her
Mhm.
some ways to protect
And
her.
he's using his powers from Heroes. He has the power to nullify other people's powers in Heroes. So he uses that power to put into the box so that the magic doesn't work on what's inside the box.
Mm-hmm. Right, which to me actually made the end make a little bit of sense after the box of magic, and then realizing, okay, that means everybody, including Papa Juiced, is rewound when the time loop is triggered. Corey says here that the box is invulnerable to the magic time vault. Oh, wait, invulnerable to the magic time vault? Oh yeah, I guess the magic time vault would be everything outside of the box, huh?
Yeah, it sort of nullifies the effects of the time loop
Yeah,
somehow.
which is
Because
triggered
again,
by.
he's using his hero's powers to nullify magic.
Oh, were those his hero powers?
Yeah. In Heroes, he can nullify anybody's
Oh
power.
crap, you're right. I
Yeah.
remember that.
hmm
He was like, I
And he
forget
could
the
erase
name.
memories too.
There's an actual mutant that did that in X-Men.
Oh,
Archangel? No, not Archangel.
I don't remember.
Yeah, there's an actual mutant that did that in X-Men. Um, so yeah, we find out about this talisman crystal that Rose went and found because she was so in love with Alex that she never wanted to lose her, etc., etc. Eventually, uh, she turns around and Alex finds out what this crystal does, what it's for, and she in fact steals it, nearly killing Rose to get it. And that's what makes Rose important to this movie. Uh, Billy found a SanDisk, or what do we call that? USB disk, showing her everything she needed to know. Found a book with everything she needed to know, and it assisted her in the beginning of her journey to eliminate and take back her life from Alex.
hmm
Corey says here he has the powers of Eraser from My Hero Academia.
hmm
Good character. Good reference.
Nice.
I
But
can
yeah,
definitely
so
appreciate that.
what did you
Yeah.
guys think about the USB disk and all of that in the box?
I mean, I guess that makes sense, right? It's you got to have some sort of visual evidence that something is going on, because you could even justify away a journal where you're writing this type of stuff and be like, "Well, I don't remember writing this. Why am I writing it?" But having the video, I guess it also helps the audience understand what the hell is going on too. So, from a storytelling point of view, I think it makes sense that you have to have like somebody be like, okay, this is what's happening now because we've been trying to confuse you for the past 45 minutes. So we got to actually let you in on the
Break it all
secret.
down.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, she is told that she needs to begin her journey. She has to learn the ritual. Billy is told through by Rose through the video while they're all at Papa Juice shop, and I thought that was also interesting because at no point do we really see them talk outside of the shop, right? Excuse me, outside
hmm
of the art show, and then we see them on video at this shop, which is even kind of nerve wracking to Billy because she's like, "Wait, what is this? When did this happen?" But so she's given all of her tools. She's told everything she needs to know, and she really just begins this journey of practicing the ritual, learning as much as she can, and waiting until she has her opportunity to
The
take. the crystal back, I like what happened next. That was the twist to me. Is I'm thinking like, oh, okay, here we go. She's gonna go and get the talisman or the crystal, and she's just gonna start the chant, and it's all good. Nah, that's not what happens. She goes, she grabs the crystal, and she literally regains all of her memories, but it's like a download. It takes a
Yeah,
moment for her brain to process it all
Mhm.
to where she's almost comatose, even though she's standing there. And
that's the pool side, right?
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And when Alex returns and she sees her, she automatically knows what just happened. She's like, "Oh, you did it again."
Again, yeah.
And I was like, "Oh no!" Like she's stuck. Like I was honestly thinking, like, okay, so she's stuck in this because there's no way out. Which isn't true. Wasn't true. There was definitely a way out, but it was difficult. And
Yo.
now I understood what Rose meant when she said Alex almost killed her trying to take it, because in order to take it, you literally have to damn near incapacitate the other person because you're pretty out of it until it's out of your hand. They could leave it in your hand and you pretty much are just what is the word I'm looking for? It's not comatose, but technically it's comatose, but
Zombify.
zombified. Yeah,
Somehow.
that's a great way to say it. I thought it started with a C, but either way, yeah, zombified works. Corey says here, it's cool when you get the idea that the time loops were longer than anyone realized, and the bad guy lets the protagonist know they've reached this triumph before. I like those moments. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's why for me it was like, oh shit. Like, and honestly, I also that again, like, so that's around 27-minute mark. That's when I realized, like, man, I need this movie to be a little bit longer because this just got good.
Did it?
Yeah, actually, at
Oh,
that
okay.
point.
I think it got interesting because the heel turn finally happens, right? She finally reveals herself as the person behind everything.
Hmm.
Um, I don't
Yeah,
know
she
if you,
admits to all the murders.
yeah, I don't know if you can make it any longer. I think there's just enough time for her to kind of go on her mad villainess monologue, where she's basically like, "I had to do this, I love you," and
She had to kill her a bunch of times and kill a
she had to
bunch of other
kill her a
people a
bunch.
bunch of times.
Right, right, right. Which is then like then you find out that it's not just the 6 months, but it's also probably another 8 months and then maybe even another 6 months. So this might
Possibly.
have been going on for like a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But
She's a whole bad person.
so is the world getting reset every time, or is it
Seeming,
just her? Because that doesn't make sense. Why would everybody else not be blacking out if
it
the world
seems
gets reset?
right. It doesn't seem like the entire world is resetting. It seems like certain circumstances around her are resetting. The only thing that made it seem like everything was resetting was in my opinion, at least that I remember, was the actually no, I'm wrong. I was gonna say it was the art show, but I'm thinking about the birthday party that had to reset a few times.
Yes, it did
The
reset a few
different, yeah,
times.
I guess the whole world is resetting.
Has to be the whole world.
Yeah, it would have to be. Yeah.
Now it doesn't make sense. That makes less sense.
Uh-huh.
That's kind of the issue, right? At least I don't know. I can't think of the explanation off the top of my head, to be honest, because you would have to think that then Kim and she's perpetually throwing a birthday party for her kid.
Right. So she is always gonna be doing this. She's
Because he
always
understood,
mad meeting what's her name? She's always gonna be
Well,
mad meeting Alex.
right,
Which also made her look like more like the jealous friend than the concerned friend.
right. Um,
But
yeah.
yeah.
I don't know. I
So
mean, like, I don't think that there is another explanation. I think the world has to reset. You,
yeah, I would say
but
that
that,
the world has to reset, yeah.
yeah, because she has to go back to the first time they meet each time. So they're doing that, like,
You're right.
how many times did they do that? Probably a dozen times.
Reality, yeah. At least.
Poor Kim, she
We
had to
probably
throw a
saw 3 or
dozen
4
birthday parties
or more.
or more. Yeah.
And we have to also remember that Alex has done so many resets that she really believes this is who she is.
Mm-hmm.
So what? Where are we? We go to.
Well, the struggle at the pool is basically.
Yeah, that's exactly where we are. Corey
Mhm.
says at least she has a at least she has to have different memories of it. Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's a lot of birthdays though. Uh, so they have the struggle at the pool, and in my opinion, they both should have lost this fight, but that's another discussion. Um, Billy has all her memories back, even of Alex killing her, so she actually has something now fueling her, in my opinion. Because wait, you kill me? How many times did you kill me?
Like too many.
Yeah. How about
At
one
least
too
3
many?
or 4.
At least 3 or 4. How
Yeah.
about the
Right.
first one was too many?
She
Uh,
drowned her. She stabbed her in the belly,
yep.
and I can't think of the other ones because I
She
didn't
choked
care.
her, stabbed her in the. Well, she gave her a bunch of concussions, so we could assume she might have done other things that we don't know about.
Right.
But also, this is at the point where Christina admits to killing Christine, killing Rose, to doing all of these things to Alex. I mean, excuse me,
Correct.
to Billy, and doing it all for the sake of saving Alex because she can give her what she needs. I can help you, baby. And I'm wondering what is it she was looking forward to because she was saying we're almost there. We just have to do it a few more times. We're almost there. I'm wondering did she just mean like, oh, I've almost figured out how to make you not do this anymore, or
Mhm. I think that that's what it is.
okay, because I was like,
Yeah.
was it that or a few more times and she's just a complete zombie and you just gonna be taking care of your vegetable lover?
Oh, well, maybe, but I think it's more that she's trying to figure out the secret sauce, right, to keep the relationship going.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, that makes
all the
sense.
while ignoring the fact that she kills people and she's yelling at everybody and she's an awful person.
Completely terrible person.
It's got to be something else, though.
I mean, I'm wondering, was she even really rich or was that just stuff she had stolen from people like the house and everything?
I don't know. Maybe if like that, that those people are on vacation for like the summer or the winter or the summer or something.
That's true as well.
It's just in a time loop, so you know that you have an empty house the entire time.
Yeah, no,
What you do
absolutely.
know is that you know
Um,
nothing.
you know, jack shit. But yeah, so she was told by Rose and Papa Juiced that once she regains control, oh, we have Corey here. Corey
Hmm.
says she could engineer the circumstances just to have the perfect romance. Yeah,
Hmm.
just right to have the perfect romance. Exactly. Yeah, that's the whole point of the time loop. That honestly, so naturally, that's how we can actually explain this movie. This is a movie about somebody trying to find the perfect circumstances to romance or perfect.
So this is a love story. It's not about a psycho.
Anti Groundhog Day. Yeah,
It's definitely anti Groundhog Day. That's
pretty
for sure.
much. Yeah, because it ends with the couple not getting together.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know how to
I don't.
respond to your question, Mike, but I heard it. Um,
Um,
sorry. But yeah, they fight. She resets everything, and remember back to the video. Rose continues to tell Billy reset everything, put Alex in her place, take the stone, the crystal to Papa Juice. You cannot control the power; it is too strong. It is much more powerful than Haitian voodoo. It is blood magic. Instead, she returns an empty talisman box to Papa Juice, and he looks kind of confused, like not really knowing what's going on, which reminds me in that moment, like, oh, that's right. To what we said, that's why it makes sense that the whole world had to reset because even now what's going on, and she keeps the stone in her purse. My question is, whose blood is in it?
probably Alex's.
Yeah, but you have to keep replenishing the blood because it's burning through the blood to.
Only if you plan on using it more than once.
Okay, fair. I figure you'd have to do it to
Because well,
keep.
because
Oh, so
she probably just uses the blood to get things back to normal, or at least normal for her, and
mhm,
then just keeping it away from her from trying to use it again.
I guess. Yeah, that's a point. Because I guess the original point would be where did Rose get it from? And if she bought it from Papa Juice, then he's not to be trusted with it either.
I think she's probably going to go use it on
Best
on
friend.
her ex.
That's a good point. That's a good
Probably.
point. Restarting the cycle.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Because she was kind of pining after her ex the entire
Oh
time.
my god, the entire movie
You
Hmm.
and
talking
complaining
about
about how
the one chick?
Christine.
Yeah. Nah,
Hmm.
Yeah,
cause she breaks up with her at the end, says it's over with. She said we're done.
yeah. But I think to Nick's point, she has the crystal now, so she could break up with her, but that doesn't mean she's really breaking up with her. She needs to get that out of her system so she can have her way with
Mm, I think
her.
that
Okay,
might
I'm
be a
elaborating
stretch.
on what Nick said to be clear.
Yeah,
Right.
I think it's left too open ended, but
Cause like right before the end, she's at the art gallery and she says she walks up to her when she starts trying to fondle on her. She's like, "Look, I said we're already done with. This is over with." And she kind
mhm.
of just walks away. And that's when
Okay.
she notices Rose, and she's like, "Hey, Rose, blah blah blah." And then the picture's not the crying tears.
Right. Yeah, I
So
was
I
wondering what
mean,
the name of that portrait was because the other one was called The Regret.
probably this was a horseshit movie. That's probably what it's called. Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, it was probably like not regret.
Oh no, it's fine.
Uh,
We're almost at that point for ratings now that you've done.
I'm sorry.
We're climbing the mountain. We getting there.
What's she gonna
Yeah.
do with the jewel? Why would she keep it?
So
Because
That kind
nobody
of
could
bugs.
use it against her.
Kind of
she
bugs
thought
me
Alex was
though.
the devil and she wants that kind of power. It doesn't. It bugs me, but it makes perfect sense to me. Um, Everybody in this movie wanted the same thing, and they would have all done the same thing to get it. And her keeping the crystal proves it. Rose originally is the one who went to get it, because she wanted to use it on Alex. Alex no
Mhm.
longer, Alex was upset. It seems that she found out it was being used on her, just turned to use it on somebody else, and
Mhm.
that's what it seems like Billy is about to do as well.
Right. Yes,
Really?
Corey.
You think so?
Yeah,
Alex got used by, or Alex got used. Rose used it on Alex first, and then Alex used it on Rose. I think.
right.
Isn't that right?
S- Wait, repeat what you said, and then I'll read what Corey said.
So I think when they found it, Rose found it first and then used it on Alex, and then Alex used it on Rose, or no?
I don't think Alex used it on Rose. I think Alex just used it after she found out what Rose was doing to her. That's when she found and met
Oh, okay, okay, right. Yeah.
Billy.
Hmm.
Yeah. And Corey says, and it was also the story that Alex had used it on her too? Question mark. Yeah. Yeah. That's what it was. Or that's what it seems like because um oh wait, no. Because you're asking the same thing Nick just did. That the
Hmm.
story is that Alex used it on Rose too. No, the story doesn't seem as if Alex used it on Rose. The story seems Alex found out what Rose was doing, tried to kill Rose, took it, met Billy, and used it on Billy. And also Corey says, so it's an allegory about controlling toxic relationships being a cycle. Bingo.
There you
A
go.
time loop, if you will.
A time, yeah, it being a time loop, if you will. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
absolutely. That spot. So I think that's one thing about this movie. The the points are clear and easy to divulge. It's not like some super cryptic message. It's more about how they got to the point.
No, they're pretty overt, which is fine. Yeah, I don't really need everything nestled in deep metaphor. But yeah, all right. Well, do we have anything else?
I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it, but we could definitely get to final thoughts and ratings. Um,
Let's do that.
Billy is hot.
Is that
my
your final
final
thought?
thoughts. Yeah,
That's
my
all.
final
That's my
thoughts
only takeaway.
All
will
right.
not be in the
There you
vein of
go.
what Mike is talking about, but I understand. Um, my final thoughts. Not the movie I thought it was gonna be. Not the movie it could have been, and definitely not as bad as anticipated. Because if I'm being honest, I've never heard of a movie. I kind of throw it in the ballpark of like, oh, this might be kind of bad. But especially 2023 has been. I mean, hell, we could talk about music. Honestly, 2023 just hasn't had high level, high quality entertainment. Um, but this could get about a 3.5 from me.
You mean like the scuttlebutt?
Yeah, this could get about a 3.5 from me.
If you know, you know.
Jeez. My guy. That's all I can say.
I'm gonna give it like a 2.
Man.
Okay.
Because
Alright.
if he thinks it's a 3 and he kind of like it,
I think Keelan's kind of lowballing it, to be
I
honest.
am a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm where I'm at is like I don't hate it, but I also don't like it's not jumping out to me. So I was gonna give it a 5.
I didn't
I gotta
hate it. I just didn't like it.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I didn't love it, but I think that like it's serviceable. It's only an hour and 20 minutes too, so like it's
All
not
right,
that bad.
question, Nick.
Hmm.
Which did you like better, this or The Mother? Jennifer Lopez.
Ugh.
Oh, I liked this better.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we both gave the Jennifer Lopez movie a 3, and you gave your yours is gonna be higher already. You said that.
Hmm.
I agree. So I have to change my score. I cannot have it so close to that because I did like this better.
Oh yeah. I
Um,
like this better for sure.
what did I give this? A 3.5. I'm gonna go up at
3.5.
least a solid. Give it a 4.5.
Fair enough. Yeah, Mike, I know you're still at a 2, man. That's all good.
Yeah,
Yeah, pretty much.
Just Nick said that, and it immediately
Yeah.
made me put it in the context. Like, okay, let me think. Our last 3 movies. What were my scores on those?
Yeah.
We all Project Legion. It don't matter. We know what the score on that was.
Project Legion. Oh my god.
That was the best movie of 2000, whatever it was.
Amen. Amen. So good. Wow.
So good. Oh, I still have regrets.
As you should.
I still have flashes of those stupid people in blackout jumpsuits, like contortion walking down hallways.
Can I be honest? I forgot about that movie until you mentioned it, and I'm kind of mad that you did.
That was the last, like literally the last thing we watched.
Well, at least
right,
Mike,
and I had forgotten about it completely.
right.
I
At least
understand.
Mike can say that he likes this better than Project Legion.
For sure. It forgot about itself. Don't worry about it.
Man, and then you said it was a famous dude in it too. I didn't even realize.
Hey, I mean, so happens when you pick movies, man. You gotta do a little research on the folk.
No, because my only thought was the idea was like, oh, that looks interesting.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I thought. I didn't have anything else to go along. And then I saw like within the first maybe minute, not even the whole first 5, I was like, I regret this.
You could have chose War of Tomorrow or something, but yeah. It is what it is.
I wanted to change it as soon as I saw the first minute, and I was like, I probably can't. I gotta live with this.
Live with this. Your fault. So Nick, just to make sure, you called this a 5, yes?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we are at 11.5 out of 30, which gives us, I think, like
snacks.
Close
3.8?
to a 4. Yeah, like a 3.8 ish.
It's not terrible.
No.
Sorry, Corey. I feel like this was my fault on you too.
Why sorry to him?
Because he had to endure it too.
Oh, I don't think. No, I think he was just reading along with us.
Oh, right. He did say he hadn't seen it. He was doing research as well. But yeah, no, I mean, and listen, I get it. I don't think this is one of those movies that everybody's gonna like for a lot of reasons, but mostly because there's nothing. Mostly because there's nothing initially is in the first like 10, 20 minutes of this movie, and there's nothing even in the trailer to really reel you in. Like there's no hook. If we're fishing for viewership, this has no bait on. This hook has no bait on it at all. But
this dog don't hunt.
This dog don't hunt.
I think it's too slow of a burn for an hour and 20-minute movie.
Yeah, I can agree with that. But not terrible. Just let's keep it a bean. Terrible 0.03. We have a movie that we reviewed last. What was that? Last week.
Oh yeah.
0.03 is the rating for that movie out of 30.
That high?
I don't know. I gave it a 0. So.
And so did I.
Right.
I think you
Right.
gave it a 0.8, Mike.
No, I'm pretty sure I got less than that.
He gave it a 0.1. And that's
There
Oh,
you
all
go.
he
okay.
That sounds
gave
about right. That sounds
Yikes.
more like me.
Yeah.
a tenth of a point and caused us to have to actually give it a 300th of a point.
Have you rated anything that low in the entire time we've been doing the screen time continuum?
One thing is lower than that. It's a
Yeah.
What's
firm
that?
0. The Empty Man.
The Empty
It's
Man
a
is
firm
a
Damn.
firm zero.
I don't
Actually,
know
I
if
think
I
no.
see.
I think 2 things are lower than that. I want to say we have 2 firm zeros.
Paper
Pause.
Tigers.
No, that's
No,
not a
no,
zero.
that's like that's
Yeah,
more
it's
in
like a
this ballpark,
2 or
like
a
a 2,
3.
3. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, man. Some things just gotta get talked bad about. Corey said you could also take some unfortunate commentary about the nature of somewhat impractical, particular artsy bohemian community and sexuality of the principles, the way this story seems structured.
What? Was that English?
Oh yeah, you can definitely do so. I don't know if they did that on purpose, which is kind of interesting to me. There's definitely some commentary here that I don't 100%. I'm not 100% sure they did on purpose, but maybe they did. And if that's the
I think they did.
case, interesting.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it had a very boho feel, and I think it was intentional. What he basically said, Mike, was it was very ritzy for poor people.
Oh, well, say that.
Well, and now also there's well, I don't really want to break it down too much more than that, but yes, there is also some social commentary
Yeah.
about the circles of people that this movie focuses around.
Yeah, I didn't know how to fit that into the explanation, but
You
yeah,
mean artsy people who do art?
Yes,
I figured
yes,
it's Mike.
absolutely.
He
Yeah.
knows.
Yep.
So Corey also said, "What is the grounded utility of being loyal and lovingly?" Sorry, let me start that over. What is the grounded utility of being loyal and lovingly maintaining their relationships beyond momentary impulses of feeling? Sorry, that was kind of a tongue twister. That moment kind of took me. Damn it, it went away. There it goes. That allows for the nature of various obsessions to be really exploited.
Yeah.
That actually went over my head a little bit. Can you break that one down?
Well, so like the concept of like impulsive, not impulsive, but like short term versus long term. There's a whole commentary here about like the obsession with the short term passions that don't really necessarily build loving relationships over time.
I get it.
And yeah, the over emphasis on those as sort of the exciting parts of relationships also sort of robs the reality of what relationships really are.
Right. When you live in that fantasy world, it took me a minute, but as soon as you got a little bit into it, it clicked. It's people living in the fantasy world. And honestly, for me, whether you're talking about relationships, career goals, aspirations, things like that, people who play sports or who are entertainment at certain ages or in certain groups, sometimes you get so much of a good thing that you cannot differentiate between the good and the bad. And when you experience any level of reality, it's so jarring that it has to be wrong. Yeah. This movie definitely can be explained in that notion. And I think anybody who's ever lived any lifestyle to where you were in the fantasy side and then you came back to reality, you could understand exactly where those notions are in this movie. I think it's very easy to see where, hell, honestly, if we could just call it what it is, if there was some cocaine usage in this movie, it might have actually made some more things make sense.
Damn.
Yeah, everybody was just partying super hard.
I mean, there was a lot of wine drinking.
That's exactly what I was talking about earlier. There's a lot of excessive alcoholism, I would say. Like, like if
But
for
isn't
the
that kind
character
of like most movies with women to woman stuff? There's lots of wine drinking involved.
I mean, maybe
Yeah.
they put that in there a lot. Maybe it sells wine.
I'm sure
Maybe
it's still wine. I think the inference though is that it's not controllable.
uh, is it a trope?
I think it
Mm,
might just be like well, what could you call it? I mean, wine is very feminine, I guess,
Cliche.
in its energy, or at least in its cinematic presence. Um, Classy
Mm,
women drink wine, so yeah,
mm,
maybe there's
yeah,
a
and rich
mythology
people
around that.
drink wine.
Yep.
Well,
nasty.
nasty.
All right, get off my lawn. All right, we're leaving.
Damn, stupid kid.
That's
The
my
scoop kid's
frisbee
gonna leave the
now.
scoop. All right. Well, I think we're done. Are you guys good?
Yeah, man. I mean, jagged
All right.
edge, jagged little pill, jagged little thrill. The jagged
That's right.
mind has, you know, the jagged mind has been amended, I guess.
And the jagged mind has been mined of content, and now we will pay no more mind. How about that? There we
Oh,
go.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, thanks, guys. We appreciate tuning in. Special thanks to Corey, as always, for chatting with us. And we appreciate your input. Always fun to have you with us in the chat. Thanks, Corey. And thanks to all of you for tuning in whenever you're doing that. We really appreciate it. We're usually on Wednesdays and Sundays, but life gets crazy. So sometimes we push it to Thursdays, which is today. But
Yeah.
Wednesday night and Sunday night at 8:30 p.m. Screen Time Continuum. I would show you all of the other podcasts that we do, but we don't really do them right now. So I'm just gonna kind of focus on what we're doing here. And if you want to check all that stuff out, you can go check this out right here. We have back catalogs of a lot of episodes. So if you're interested in any of that stuff, you can check that out. But yeah, I don't know, man. Anything else? Final thoughts? Keelan?
no,
Words of
no.
wisdom?
Words of wisdom. If you keep finding little nicks and scrapes on yourself, change your environment.
Mm.
It's definitely not the cat you don't have.
Change your roommate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds good. All right, guys. Thank you so much for the Screen Time Continuum. I am Nick.
I am Keelan.
And I'm Mike.
Good night, everyone.
Like and subscribe.